Are you all right? You sound to be having a bit of discomfort.
You're having a bit of discomfort, John.
Okay.
So, for the people at home, just to explain what we're going to do now, we're going to have a quick discussion around how Pelakka Wurm... Okay, let me make this full screen so it looks really professional. There's not other stuff on screen. Pelakka Wurm...
First time for everything, eh, Vince?
...is better
Making
than
it look professional.
Thragtusk. As this comment on the Gatherer from 2013 from Sin Cleanser says, you gain 7 life over 5, John. Why do you not think this is not better than Thragtusk?
I mean, I'm not saying it's out and out better. It's just a discussion to be had. Hopefully here.
Well, go on then. Explain. I think Pelakka Wurm is categorically better than Thragtusk.
I don't know about that. I mean, Pelakka Wurm, basically, yes, it's a 7/7 trampler that gains you 7 life and draws you a card. But I think having 2 bodies and 5 life for 5 mana might be a better deal.
Well, let's talk numbers, John. Let's talk about objective numbers in a vacuum. And Jason, I can
I'm
hear
going
you
to say 17.
I feel like I should play the judge.
Right, listen, right? You said that Thragtusk is better because there were 2 bodies. Thragtusk gives you 8 points of stats for 5 mana. Pelakka Wurm gives you 14. 14, yeah. John.
Okay. But what happens if they just kind of like Doomblade it?
Then you draw a card, John.
Okay.
And that is like...
With Thragtusk, you get a 5/3 as well.
No, because they're Doomblade, you don't have a 3/3.
It's a 3/3. Okay, so first of all, you don't get 8 points. Because when it enters, you get 10. So we're going, Pelakka Wurm is 7 mana, you get 14 points because you get 7 life, 7 power, right?
No, I was wanting 7 power and 7 toughness. If you want to add the life into it, it's actually 21. Where Thragtusk is 13. So Pelakka Wurm is winning, guys. Pelakka Wurm is winning. And then if we remove the mana cost, let's remove the mana cost to get the maths right, okay? So
hold on, Thragtusk leaves behind a 3/3 beast, so you've got to include that in your stats.
No, we can't, because in this mathematician, the way of doing it, that's very scientific. The draw a card, it evens out. So you know when you're like doing maths, you got 2 equations, you have to equate like fucking algebra. This is Magic the Gathering algebra, okay? The card cancels out the beast.
What? Does it?
However, what do you mean does it? What the fuck do you mean does it?
It's pretty situational.
So you're telling me I couldn't draw a 0-costed 3/3? Actually, I probably couldn't draw.
You 100% couldn't draw a 0-costed 3/3. No. I believe that's what we're telling you.
Yeah.
But what if I have Omniscience in play?
If you have Omniscience in play,
then you're
worrying about drawing a card off of Pelakka Wurm, I think you've got bigger problems.
No, because the point is Pelakka Wurm here is part of my show and tell deck.
Oh, here we go. Where's Cabal? Where is he?
My point is, the decks you play Thragtusk in, you're going to care about mana because you're trying to be efficient. Pelakka Wurm is only in decks where you're like, I've got 1,000,000 mana, or I've got an Omniscience in play, or I'm sneaking into play, or I'm reanimating it.
I mean, in Pelakka's favour, you can Pelakka Wurm, and then you could draw 7 more cards with Grizzlebrand.
Exactly. And if that's in that deck, that hypothetical deck that we're talking about. Right, I'm just going to get Thragtusk on screen as well, because we need to now talk about the art. Also, no, to go back a minute to the maths a second, alright?
I mean, the maths are pretty questionable to start with.
What do you mean? Okay, look, let me explain, okay?
A card equals a 0-cost.
No, listen,
3/3.
we're going to come
This
back.
isn't Hearthstone.
That's the really difficult part to understand, and it gets much more complex. We're talking like quantum shit, right? So just wait a second.
I'm not sure it's quite quantum. I think we're overstating this.
I mean quantum is in like, someone like John probably can't understand it.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, you understand.
Not in the literal sense. But look, 7. So you got a 7/7 that gains you 7 life. That's 21 minus the mana cost of 7. That's 14. Okay. Thragtusk is 5 plus 3 is 8. Plus the 5 life is 13. Minus 5 is 8. So Pelakka Wurm is still winning on raw stats. On top of that, Pelakka Wurm has trample. Now this might be a little bit arbitrary, but I'm going to say trample's worth at least 2 points.
I feel like you can probably give it more points because 7 attack power on trample.
Hold on.
Okay, I'm with you, Jason.
Right?
The bigger the front end, the more points you get for the trample.
Wait.
There's got to be like a percentage.
What do you mean
there.
by points? Percentage points?
We're doing this mathematically.
Yo, what do points have to do with it?
So
points mean prizes, John.
The one that comes out with the most points is objectively the better Magic card.
I mean, we all know that points mean prizes.
Exactly, and the prize here is honour. So listen, trample, I agree with Jason here, trample on a 1/1 would be shit, right? But trample on a 7/7 is banging. So, depending on the power level, so I would go as far as to say, in this circumstance, just for the sake of argument, it's 7 power, trample, let's add another 7 points on, right?
So what's the benefit that you could have Thragtusk come down on turn 5,
Sure.
turn 4, or earlier if you have mana dorks.
Sure.
So
Clearly
there must be some benefit.
Yes, I can see that. So let's say Thragtusk.
So what if you're playing against a burn deck?
It gets
you get to 5 mana, you play your Thragtusk, you gain 5 life. If you have a Pelakka Wurm that you're relying on, you just die because you're not going to live to turn 7 against.
But when you show and tell against burn, they put an Eidolon in, you put a Pelakka Wurm in. If you put a Thragtusk in, John, it just gets blocked by stuff or dies to bolts. Pelakka Wurm don't die, does it? So don't give me that burn shit. Alright, don't give me that burn shit.
Don't die, innit?
But I'm going to concede a point there that we should probably give Thragtusk some points for coming down a few turns earlier. So if it comes down, what was it? So we've got Pelakka's a 7, Thragtusk's a 5. Okay, 2 turns earlier, we'll give Thragtusk 2 points.
Well, hold on.
Wait,
that's 2
hold
points.
on.
You're saying that coming down 2 turns earlier.
Yep.
Is worth the same amount as Pelakka Wurm having trample.
No, I'm saying trample's worth 7 points.
Wait, you said it's worth 7?
No.
What? What is this arbitrary point system?
There'd be no fun to this if it wasn't completely arbitrary.
You're not wrong, John. It is rather arbitrary, but that's not what we're discussing here. We're not arguing whether or not the point system is arbitrary. We're arguing which is the better card, Thragtusk or Pelakka Wurm. Okay, so we got. So let me. Jason, if you kept count of this, get a notepad up a sec.
All right, hold on. Let me open.
This is a lot more complex than I thought it would be.
Because next we come to flavor text, we have to discuss how many points each one's got on that.
Let me just bring up a notepad or something.
Okay, so.
One note. Right.
Okay. So Pelakka
Live our best life.
was 21 minus 7, so that's 14, plus 7 for the trample, so back up to 21.
If my PC worked that quickly, then yes. But OneNote is apparently the most demanding program on this incredibly
I don't even know what
expensive
OneNote
computer.
is. What is OneNote?
I don't even know what it is either. I've literally never opened this before.
OneNote is a
it knows my name.
note-taking bit of
I should have got John to do the
Microsoft
note-taking.
does.
Do you know what? I've literally got a pen and paper in front of me.
Right, let's do that. Let's do old school. All right.
Right.
So
P-Wizzy.
P-Wizzy, as he will forever be known.
Please never say that ever again.
Fuck off, John. All right. It's P-Wizzy. Okay. 7 plus 7, 14. Plus another 7. Wait, plus another 7? No. Yeah, plus another 7 is 21. Minus 7. So he's 14 before we get to the trample, before we get to the keywords.
14. Yeah.
14. Thragtusk is 5 plus 5 plus 3, which is 13. Minus 5 is 8. Okay?
Okay, yep.
Then we come to the keywords. Pelakka Wurm. Are we agreeing on 7 points for trample because of 7?
No, but it doesn't matter.
Okay, 7 points for Pelakka Wurm there.
Okay.
Thragtusk gets how many points? We're talking none, because it's got no keywords. But it comes down 2 turns earlier, so it gets 2 points.
Okay, so mana, we're only giving it 2.
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah. Okay, give it 3.
I
Let's give
feel
it 3.
like Thragtusk is getting done dirty here.
Let's
this
give
isn't really
Thragtusk
fair.
another point for 2 turns. In some matchups that'd be more important. So let's give him 3 points for that.
Okay, 3 points.
Okay.
We haggled that up.
The flavour text on Pelakka Wurm is it eats what it wants to eat, which is anything that moves, where Thragtusk is always carry 2 spears. Now, I would hazard to say that Pelakka Wurm would just eat a Thragtusk. Meanwhile, a Thragtusk would be like, oh, well, I'm being eaten. So I think Pelakka Wurm wins here, right?
But what about the self-awareness of the Thragtusk to know it's being eaten? Is that worth points?
No, because
I think Vince is just biased here because the Pelakka Wurm lives as Vince does.
which is what? Being a
Hungry.
fucking
Eats
badass.
what he wants to eat, which is anything that moves.
Gaining 7 life and drawing cards, John. There's nothing wrong with that. Right, so, okay, Pelakka Wurm wins on flavour text. Let's give it 2 points for that. So Pelakka Wurm gets 2 points for that. Right, art.
Wait a second. He gets 2 points because it has better flavour text.
I think we can all agree that's completely and utterly not just plucked out of the sky.
And the
Moving
thing
on.
is, Thragtusk's flavour text is good. Don't get me wrong. For the viewers at home, Thragtusk's flavour text is great.
It's flavourful.
It is, and it fits the
flavour
art,
text.
and it
It's
fits the mechanics.
flavourful.
So I think Thragtusk should win some points for being mechanically more flavourful.
Because in M15 you had Searing Spear, and it does 3 damage. So you have to have 2 Searing Spears.
That is very
to get rid of
cool. And then the
Thragtusk,
art
and
actually
it's
has the
token.
baby in it, and then the
does.
flavour text is referring to the baby.
So
and
how
then
many points does that get it?
I think it should. If we're talking Syrian Spear, I think it should get 3 points.
Okay, so we're giving it 3 points flavour text.
No, that's not flavour text. I'm talking for the whole flavour package.
Right. But are we giving it points for the flavour package?
Yes.
Are we Guy Fieriing this? We
3,
are. That's a
yes.
different thing though, right?
Okay,
Yes.
so if Pelakka Wurm was a food, what would it taste like? Same thing for Thragtusk.
So Thragtusk would just be like pork, wouldn't it? Like a really tough, stiff pork.
Well, it'd be boar, so it'd be gamey.
Yeah, exactly. And a worm. I mean, it's got the mouth
nice
of a
and meaty.
fucking...
It's a bit chewy, but you know.
What, Pelakka Wurm?
No, Thragtusk.
I think the problem with Pelakka Wurm is that you and I would never find out, because we'd never be able to kill one, John. It's just too big.
That's true.
But what if you let it eat you? Because it's not like it's gonna bite you, and then just like cut a bit off and try to cook it before you got digested.
What, inside it? You want to cook part of the Pelakka Wurm while inside the Pelakka Wurm?
You gotta die as you live.
I think Pelakka Wurm tastes like value, because when it dies, you draw a card. And that comes to my final point, okay? Is that Thragtusk did dominate a standard format, sure, okay? But Pelakka Wurm got upgraded to rare. I don't see Thragtusk getting upgraded to Mythic Rare.
Oh yeah, see, this is important. This is actually important. Okay, so upgrade points. How many points does that get you? Pelakka Wurm in this format of power creep has been deemed too powerful.
Exactly. So I think it gets at least 2 points for that.
Yeah.
Maybe it should get some points deducted because it was too powerful.
No, John. Thragtusk. If that's the case, Thragtusk is losing a lot of points because Thragtusk in its standard environment was considered quite degenerate.
Well, that's only because it was paired with Restoration Angel.
And imagine Restoration Angel. Oh shit! Actually, shit! Pelakka Wurm only when it dies. Thragtusk when it leaves and enters.
It leaves. Yeah.
The combo potential very different.
Okay, give Thragtusk 4 points for the mana cost of Restoration Angel.
It should be 7 because it's a 3/4.
Maybe we should add up all the points for Restoration Angel at this point and perhaps add half of those onto Thragtusk.
I mean, we're rounding up or rounding down?
Basically, I don't know. Just give it 4 points. Just be done with it.
Well, no, because all right. We'll just go with 4.
The point is, the card draw is often better than a 3/3. It can be worse than a 3/3, but a lot of cards in Magic, like Kambal, who's a vintage staple, like Necropotence. I mean, it could even be a Blade Splicer, and then we're getting into real value, aren't we?
I mean, that's another question for another day, isn't it?
What if Pelakka Wurm dies and you draw Ancestral Visions, draw 3 more cards and draw 3 more Pelakka Wurms?
How have you done this? Is this Omniscience again?
Yes, but I've Eldritch Evolutioned the Pelakka Wurm into a Kozilek. No, that's not
no, you
can't
could
do that.
Eldritch Evolution a Thragtusk into a Pelakka Wurm.
Wow, that sounds like a deck.
I mean...
Is this not the whole point of this?
No, this is not an advertisement for my next video.
This is exactly how we brew. This is the behind the scenes how we brew. We rate cards. And then we just go like, oh well.
This is one method. The other method is
3 cards together.
Come up with a deck name and then backward engineering it. So Jason, what are the scores on the doors?
Okay, so the scores on the doors. P Wizzy has we've got the 14 base plus 7 plus 2 plus 2. So that's plus 11 in total.
What's
So
the grand total
25 points.
Pizzle Whizzle.
How many?
For P Wizzy. P Wizzy is 25 points.
25 points, right.
Yep, and T Tizzy, which isn't as good a name, so I might pick up a
Thragtusk.
point. That's not as good.
Thragtusk is his name. That's what
Thragtusk
he's known as in the hood.
Well, fine. Is 8 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4, which is 10, so that's 18.
18. So
18 versus 25.
It's a respectable score. Maybe we could do this again sometime and compare Thragtusk to another card and see where it gets to. But I think this objectively proves that Pelakka Wurm is a better Magic card than Thragtusk.
There's nothing in this conversation that's objective.
It was maths. Maths is completely objective.
Exactly. Maths is not judging. Maths doesn't come home from a long, hard day at work, get judgmental, and then beat you with its belt, John.
I mean, I'm glad for that.
But Thragtusk would.
Thragtusk would. He's a shit.
But Pelakka Wurm, P Wizzy, would be there to cuddle you and make you feel
If
better.
you look at the art of P Wizzy, he does look like the kind of guy that would sit down and ask you how you are after a long, hard day at work. Also, another thing that I think should have put added points to the thing, but we're done now, is that instead of birds for scale, they use people for scale with Pelakka Wurm. That's when you know it's badass.
Yep.
And on that note, kids, thank you for watching. Good night.
P Wizzy.
Shut up, John.
Oh.